Great story. Okay. Recording. Cool. All right, guys. Welcome to the Co-Founders Connect episodes, where we connect co-founders to resources, people, and any other awesomeness they need to succeed in the startup world. Our very special guest today is Victor Huang, founder of Airship. They're a fantastic security company. They do security for a lot of really big enterprise companies. Without further ado, Victor, thanks a lot for coming on the podcast. You're awesome. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Matt. Nice to be here.
Yeah. So, I know a little bit about Airship, of course, because Victor's spoken at a previous Co-Founders Connect in-person event here at Atlas. But why don't you, for the viewers that don't know, give them kind of a brief overview of your company today, and then we can go into your awesome story, and you can get back to what you were telling me about reaching out to giving back. Yeah.
Okay. Airship, I actually don't want to talk too much about it.
Sure.
We deal with mostly large enterprises and government entities that they don't actually want to publicize what we do for them and so on. Suffice to say, we are probably one of the oddball companies by today's standards, but not really back in the day. I was joking, telling everybody last time that, how do you put your business before those
Yeah.
People did start up technology companies, enterprise software companies, before the days of PCs around. For that matter, Microsoft started out before PC money. So you just bootstrap. We did it not thinking we're not going to get PC, right? We did it because we couldn't raise money. We sucked at that game. So it turned out more or less described as a lead startup before the book came out. So that's how we got today. It's a company that we started with $45,000 from 3 guys, 13 grand each, and we literally bootstrapped from there. And so I'm just saying today, maybe it's a little bit tougher because the employee cost, health cost, office cost, the other end is quite a bit higher than when we got started. But I still believe it's doable if you put your heads down and bootstrap your way.
Interesting. This is an interesting point, actually, right there. How many employees are you up to today?
We have a little over 40 employees today.
Cool. Yeah, and you guys are a very profitable company, and blowing it up in the enterprise space.
The matrix we want to use for us is always try to maintain close to $1 million revenue per employee. So you can figure out how much revenue.
Yeah, very simple. So, and then how long ago did you start Airship?
We had a predecessor business that did the same field. We changed the name to Airship. Airship was really DBA. We started out in 2005.
2005. So it's been 13 years. Wow, you guys are really blowing it up in 13 years. So so you think it's a little harder today? Do you think that's true? Do you think it's harder for startups to start today because of all the competition, or the devil's advocate is easier because all the information's out there, everybody can just grab a laptop and call themselves an entrepreneur?
No, it's not about information, it's about cost. At the end of the day, starting business, running business is about cost. Okay? Why do you think cities want to offer Amazon their second headquarters? They want to offer them a lower cost of doing business. Why else would Amazon looking to move away from Seattle? A lower cost of doing business. Okay? So today, let's not forget, 2004, 2005-ish is when we started. That's post.com crash. I think at one point, Seattle, this is hard for these young guys to fathom. I think unemployment rate for IT workers post.com crash at one time peaked close to 25%. That's unemployment rate for developers, IT workers. I mean, that sounds like a nightmare. But that was a blessing if you're starting a company, because those guys, that means everything necessary to do a startup was cheap. You can get an office space at a tiny fraction of the cost today. You can get employees that write code, dare I say, down to $30,000, $40,000 a year. That's not fathomable today. Could not do that today. Okay? So, yes, you have a lot of disadvantages. You didn't have AWS, you didn't have, the apps, you didn't have the easy marketing mechanism like we have today. But in depending on what field you get into, the field we stumbled into, we kind of, in a perverse way, got very lucky because it's a boring, not very sexy field, even today, because people are too busy writing apps and whatnot, trying to get rich quick. But in reality, it's precisely because what we're doing is not sexy. We face, I would say, inferior competition as a result. I laughingly tell people we survive, we prosper today, not because we're good, it's because our competition sucked.
That's funny. That's funny.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Today, precisely because you have so many people who want to write code, you have unreasonable demands from fresh out of college guys, and they want to get paid six figures right away before they can even be confident at all. That makes cost of doing business very, very hard. It's very challenging to go do that. Okay, and you also have investors investors always have unrealistic expectations, so that doesn't really change. But just strictly from a cost standpoint, it is hard.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Now, when you were, around when you guys started 13 years ago, back in 2005, was the internet dream? Was everybody thinking unicorns back in 2005? Like, we're going to start a unicorn, we're going to start a Microsoft?
No. Back then, let me put it this way. The reason we're stuck doing what we're doing, the three of us thought, we're going to do this thing, and we're going to spend 2 or 3 years on it, and then we're going to flip it. And the flipping it, meaning we'll sell it for maybe $10, $20 million tops. That was it. That was the notion. Okay? Mm-hmm. It was called build to flip. I actually have friends, that were so-called serial entrepreneurs. The typical exit price, some of them are angel funded, some are VC funded. Mostly angel funded or self-bootstrap and whatnot. The typical exit prices are somewhere in the neighborhood of $5-6 million. One guy I know has done 3 or 4 of those. Okay, so from a personal standpoint, if you start with a few $100,000 and you 2 or 3 years later you split for $5-6 million, that's not too shabby. Okay, that's all we were thinking of. By 3 years after 2005 was 2008, the world crashed. We couldn't flip it. We were stuck with it. So instead of going to flip, we decided, because we're stuck with this, we might as well make it real.
Interesting.
And here we are. Yeah.
So when in those super tough times, did you ever dream about hey, what am I doing here? Why don't I go get a job? And does that ever cross through your mind, or tell me about some of those times?
Oh, that part for me personally, that wasn't even an option. I haven't been gainfully employed since 1996.
Wow.
So way prior to that. So getting a job is not an option. Even during my darkest times, I literally lived out of office broom closet just so I can keep it going. Okay, for 6 months. I made friends with janitors and whatnot. I had to take a shower at Pro Club because I didn't have a home to go to.
Wow.
Yeah, I did that for 6 months.
That must have been a comfy broom closet.
2010.
Wow.
It wasn't that long ago. Okay.
Did you say 2005? Oh yeah, 2010. That's 8 years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Interesting.
I was down to $20,000 in the bank and a car and the office I worked out of. That was it.
Is $20,000 in the bank? Is that personal or is that the whole company?
Personal.
Okay.
Might as well be company as well.
Okay.
Basically, we had most people in the company left because we told everybody we have to pay them what I owe and usually cut the pay in half at least. Well, if you had options, then nobody wanted to stick around.
Yeah, I mean, when times are tough, that's what makes you, right? So when you were in that broom closet, right? I don't know, what the heck happened in there. How
I was going to divorce, and we were getting sued.
Interesting. Man, I have so many questions to ask you. There's a question right there, right? You were going through a divorce. You said nothing is off limits. So let's, I don't really care too much about your personal divorce story, but personal relationships and starting a company, right? This is a philosophical question, right? Right? It's tough, right? I work Monday through Saturday right now, right? Do you think that, maybe there's just the right person is going to make it easy? Or do you think that, hey, look, Vlad, a majority of the time, right, most people, they're not going to want to wait for you, et cetera. So you've got to just focus on your business first, get that accomplished, and then go and handle your personal life. Then you can play golf and, sing kumbaya.
No, it doesn't work that way. If you really want to find out a personal dynamic, I strongly recommend you go on YouTube, look up a Chris Rock skit about women. Okay? And Chris Rock said something about women cannot go back on lifestyle. Men cannot go back in terms of sex. Okay? But I won't get to the men and sex part, just women and lifestyle. Okay? You were hoping you'll find somebody who's outstanding or just perfect. No, I'm sorry. There's no such thing as work-and-life balance. If you want to do a startup, don't get married. Don't have a family. That's the blunt truth. If you have a family, get ready to get divorced. I've actually personally funded several startups of my own in the last 2 years. They both went down because both founders got divorced in the process.
Jeez.
Okay? It's brutal.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you. Especially in the town where everywhere you drive, everywhere you see, you think everybody's getting rich. Houses in Bellevue's or what? You can get a decent house for at least $1 million or more. Look, doing a startup is the key to taking them out of poverty at least for 3 to 5 years. Okay? So, cannot blame your significant other for not wanting to put up with that bullshit. Okay? So, what I'm simply saying is that if you have a family, get ready to get divorced or separate from your family. Or just don't do it. Okay? If you have a wife or a husband that will put up with that, then you married a saint. And most of us don't marry saints. Okay?
That's true. So let's get a little bit into that. Why would you? Let's say you're married or you have a family or whatever. Why would you ever be crazy enough to start a startup? Is it because of your need for wealth? Is it independence?
Well, or an alternative would be somebody like me who was unemployable because I'm such a jackass. Nobody will hire me anyway. You were by far my favorite guest of the last Co-Founders Connect, I have to say. You're the funniest, easily. Yeah. Awesome. So if you speak your mind, okay. Well, interesting. Okay, so just full-time business is your advice. That makes sense, Yeah.
I guess, a broom closet. You can't really do too. Ladies aren't really big fans of broom closets.
No, nobody's going to have sex with you in a broom closet, okay?
So, okay, so you were grinding between this period, right? And you were just focused on business. So, so basically, what would your daily routine look like? Let's get back into that broom closet lifestyle, because that's probably where a lot of these co-founders are going to be, right? They might, and I don't think a lot of them are in the broom area. Maybe they're doing a little better than that, so they'll be happy. So tell me about your daily 24/7 grind. Yeah.
Broom closet was actually very helpful because since I have to take a shower at Pro Club, I might as well go work out there. I don't want to just go straight in the shower. That looks pathetic, right? So I have to pretend that I want to do some semblance of workout. So I was in the best shape during those days, actually. So you have to go every day. Don't just go work out and shower, okay? So then you come back to the office because the software startup there, and most guys don't roll in until 9:30, 10 o'clock here. So you have plenty of time to do your business. Some employees knew I was staying in the broom closet. Others didn't even know that I was living out there.
Interesting.
Okay? So you kind of try to be dodgy and all that. And then, when you're down to, at that point, we're down to 6 people. I had to be the sales guy. I had to be the marketing guy. I had to be the accounting guy. I had to be the support guy. Okay? I'm not complaining about that because you start up. If you're a single man or just 1 or 2 guys starting up, you have to do that anyway. Okay? But at that time, we were, quote unquote, ongoing concern. We were revenue positive. We were doing a couple $1 million in sales a year. That's actually one of the reasons we didn't give up because we had revenue. Okay? We really hit what's considered a typical, usual cost of business development, which is cash flow problem. We were getting sued. Okay? Our biggest customer would pay us and sue us instead. So, that was the grind. That's not to keep me occupied. But one thing I should speak about is my background. 2008, 2009 was a very volatile period in the stock market. I used to be a trader. So, since I was down to my last 20 grand, I had to make my ends meet. trying to keep payrolls and whatnot. I traded my last $1,000. So first thing in the morning, 6:30, New York Stock Exchange open time, which is 6:30, and the employee showed up. I did a lot of trading. That's also what personally kept me afloat. I had an alternate way to make some income.
And
I'm not suggesting you guys go out there and day trade. You can start up afloat. No, I would not suggest that. Unless you have a background, you have experience, don't do that.
How did you? So let's get more into the trading element of it.
Yeah.
When you got into the trading element of your startup journey, did you always? Let's go back into that. Your first job was sales, right? You did sales at Video Only. Then after that, you went in. You got another sales job somewhere else, right?
I worked at Prudential Security, which is they call it stockbroker, but it's really a sales job.
Yeah.
This guy got me into it, and then I went to Bonnie, and then I had a car accident, hurt my back. I was out of commission for 3 months, and during that time, my colleagues stole all my accounts. By the time I got back from my recovery, all my accounts were gone. Mm-hmm. And I had a choice to either start all over, build my book of business, or go trade. And that was early days of .com, and we had E-Trade just starting out. Back then, it wasn't even called E-Trade. It was called Lombard Institutional Trading. And I was trading on $44 modem. I was one of those early day traders. So that's how I learned how to trade.
That's hard. That's the hard path of trading. And did you teach? Because I'm sure some people maybe they've got only $5,000 in their account and they've got to day trade or play poker to get that money back. Do you have any like philosophies that you used when you went in there, or did you read all the books? What do you? I remember you told me a specific fact that made you stand out.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. I was making close to 6 figures at a time in a stockbroker before my accident. And when I went home and started trading, I only had $20,000 a day. Okay. But of course, that you have margin account. Again, very risky stuff. Okay. So that effectively gave me $40,000 to trade. So I was basically staring at a proposition of turning $40,000 into $80,000 to $100,000 a year. And truth be told, when I was a broker, all that time, I never was able to find any stock that doubled or tripled in a year. I wasn't that good. Okay. So to try to be hoping to trade that you're going to find stuff like that was literally impossible. What I did is breaking it down in actionable chunks. Meaning there's more than 200 trading days a year. And I thought, if the market's volatile enough, let's not forget, this is mid-1990s. .com was just starting to come about. There were a lot of volatile tech stocks that moved 5-10% a day. If I can, scrape 1 or 2% a day, I could do that 200 days out of the year. I would have been okay. So long as I keep very, very tight stop loss, meaning control my downside. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did. Now, that's easier said than done. I almost lost all my money within the first 6 months, and I had to take cash advance off my credit card to keep going.
Jesus.
Okay? I know, it's crazy. So, fortunately, it was a raging bull market that bailed me out. So it's not because I was good or smart. It's a bull market that bailed me out.
So you got lucky, basically.
Correct. That's one of the reasons I stopped trading and started doing the startup thing. Because I recognized I was a creature of my times. And by 2004, 2005, the market wasn't exactly rip-roaring, and we had .com crash. I did lose a lot of money in the process. And I can be a hamster, trade day in, day out. The moment I don't trade, I don't make any money. So that wasn't a very fulfilling life. And I thought I should go try to make something that can pay and have enduring value, even if I'm not doing doing the day trade. I don't have to show up, basically.
Interesting.
And that's one of my main motivations of trying to start a business, build something concrete.
Interesting. So let's go to that motivation, right? Like, where does that come from, right? That motivation to just keep going, right? You've got your 10K in the bank, and I'm sure maybe you had friends like Victor, like, come on, man, like, call it, like what made you kind of disagree with them and be like, no, I'm going to stick this thing out?
Truth be told, my co-founder wanted to shut down the company in 2009. when it was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we couldn't make lease payments and so on. Fortunately, our landlord at the time was a guy named Mike Master. If you guys look up his name on Google, he had one of the biggest bankruptcies in Seattle. The guy left town, actually. He's a fugitive in Europe right now.
Wow.
So since he left town, because the real estate collapsed, we didn't have to make lease payments for quite a while. That's also one reason we were able to stay in business. But the point is, what kept me going? Because I'm an immigrant. I mean, I came out of China when I left China in 1985 when per capita income at the time was no more than a couple $100 at a time. Everybody was equally destitute. I came here with no money, and all I saw was opportunity. And I had nothing to lose. I still think that way today. I have nothing to lose.
Interesting. Very interesting. So if you lost it all today, you'd get back into the startup game, huh?
Correct. It's not about what I have, it's what's in my head.
Interesting.
I know I can go back out there and do it again.
So let's unpack that, right? So doing it all again, what do you think makes you a good co-founder versus the old Victor, right? What did you have to tell me some of those golden nuggets you learned along the way?
Well, okay. What I know about business, about doing a startup, of course, far more than I knew back in the days. I was a trader, but my co-founder thought I knew anything about business. All I knew was I knew a little about selling, I knew about trading, I knew a little basic about finance. Okay, that's it. What does that got to do with enterprise software? Nothing. Okay, what does it got to do with recruiting and building a team? Nothing. So I had to learn all that stuff from scratch, and I mean, it's embarrassing because after staying home and trade for almost 10 years, I actually developed a speech impediment. I know I talk a lot today, but when a trade show the first year, I couldn't speak to people. And I was supposed to be the sales guy. I was stuttering the whole time. My point was that you can start from scratch and learn on the job just about everything you can by yourself. One of the things I think that saved me was because I really had no reservations, no preconceived notions about anything. I went to the bookstore, picking up stupid books like Pocket MBA for that matter, and I realized it's full of bullshit. Okay, I read about every business book I could find on bookshelves: finance, marketing, sales, management, product development. I mean, pretty much all the so-called business bestsellers in the last 20 years. I read them all. Okay, I go to probably about 5-10 books a week. I know that sounds crazy and astounding. But then again, I have the luxury of spending 6-8 hours of reading and learning every day.
So every day, 6 to 8 hours, you read and learn?
Yes.
Interesting.
Doesn't stop. Doesn't change. I have my audiobook with me all the time. When I'm doing chores, driving, I'm always listening to something. Podcasts, books. I read voraciously online.
Interesting.
And I still kept up my old habit of looking at stock charts every day. I still go through at least, not thousands, but a couple hundred stock charts every day.
Why the stock charts?
So I know what's going on around the world. Okay? I know which company's on the rise, which company's in trouble, and I'm trying to find out what's causing problems and troubles and so on. And that's on it, I mean, all the fiasco that's going on with Facebook and all that, to me, it's a great learning experience. You don't really learn much from success. You actually learn from how people handle disasters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I mean, Facebook really should, in my mind, should have learned the page from, and this kind of thing's happened before. For example, I think in the 1980s, Johnson & Johnson went through this trouble with Tylenol. People found cyanide in some taste of Tylenol. Talking about people getting killed, for that matter, died as a result. What a fiasco that was. How they responded, they basically recalled every single bottle of Tylenol around the world. And how they quickly handled that problem and how forceful and responsive they were is a great lesson in Facebook. I thought Facebook should have learned from that. That's kind of stuff they teach in business schools. I'm really blown away how they were just kind of paralyzed for so long.
Interesting.
So, I mean, these kind of things, in my mind, is that I'm basically telling myself, should something apply to my business for that matter? Some nasty headline about my business showed up in the paper. How would I respond? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so basically you're out there now. I guess So you say the biggest difference between you back then, Victor 13 years ago and Victor today is you've got all that extra knowledge of all the different books you've read, all the podcasts and articles. You always ask yourself that one question: how does this apply to me?
Correct.
And all those lessons.
And a lot of things I read got nothing to do with business per se. For example, one of the most revealing books to me that I read 2 years ago was by Genghis Khan. The book I think is called Genghis Khan, The Making a Modern World.
Mm-hmm.
And people said, what does it got to do with startups? Well, to me, it's got everything in startups. There's a guy with a chip on his shoulder who you can say rape, intelligence, kill a lot of people, conquer the world, right? So that's the typical startup mindset. You want to prove yourself. You have a chip on the shoulder, you want to do something.
You want to dominate.
His chip on the shoulder was somebody stole his life. His love of his life. That's why he went in revenge, okay? But the book he talked about how he was being so effective. For example, he talked about how his army of horse-riding, soldiers was able to quickly disband if they run into a strong enemy. They don't ever confront the enemy head-on. They quickly disband. They have teams of like 10 to 12 guy riders. They would be spending weeks and months in the wilderness on their own, and then they regroup. So if you're an army, conventional army, trying to fight these guys, you can't, because as soon as you try to punch them hard, they disappear. Okay? Things like that. We'll talk about how to be nimble, how to be surprising the enemies and so on. For example, they talk about the diet. These guys were a high-protein diet. They would eat a big feast, but then before they attack somewhere, they will not eat for days. So because they don't want to have any smoke signals, cooking fires, smells, any of the stuff to give away the surprise element. I mean, this is one of the reasons I don't really want to talk about my company. I know a lot of stuff I want to brandish about. I mean, if marketing is your business model, great. But otherwise, why the heck would you want to brandish what you do in front of your competitors and give away all these? That's asinine. You take away the elements of fun.
That's very true. So interesting. So you look at a book like the Genghis Khan book, which all your competitors are going to read now. So basically, like the high protein diet, right? You can't really apply that kind of stuff to your. Are you telling me you're eating one meal a day now?
You're well prepped, basically, right? High protein diet. I mean, it's not a diet, but at least mentally, preparation wise, you need to be well prepped. Okay, you have fuel, you have stamina. Okay, so these are kind of things we're talking about.
Interesting. That concept. So that concept of a team, of a small nimble team that disbands and then comes back together. How do you think that's applicable to the startup world, right?
That definitely applies, because we grow as a company. We face the same kind of issues, right? We have a lot of customer integrations, a lot of one of the competitive advantages we feel like we have compared to our competitors, that we're willing to do a lot of the dirty work, custom integrations and whatnot, just to win the deal, right? Don't try to sell them on standard packages and whatnot. But if you put the effort of the entire company, focus on each individual customer, that's not applicable. So I would, you want to sell them a core product, but longer-term development and investments, you put most of your efforts behind that. But you also want to break the company into small teams so you can be nimble. But along the same time, that allows you to service the customer better. But in a converse way, it also allows your employees to be exposed to different aspects of the business. So that's when you find hidden talent and capabilities within your own staff. Okay, so I much rather promote and hire from within than try to recruit guys from the street. Most of my employees here do not have fancy pedigree degrees and whatnot. They're guys from off the street, because I prefer to hire guys, they're actually very much like me, with a chip on the shoulder that just smart but willing to work hard, want to prove themselves. So
let's get go ahead.
That's very applicable, something.
Interesting. So let's get into that recruiting element piece of it, right? Yeah. So I'm slowly growing as a company over here, right? Pushing that boulder up the. I don't even feel like pushing. I'm lifting a boulder up, basically. We're hiring. We just interviewed a dev. We interviewed simple part-time dev for basic WordPress stuff from our marketing agency. What tips would you give to these co-founders when number one, looking for other co-founders, right? And then number two, hiring, recruiting talent, and bringing them within.
Okay. Recruiting talent. I mean, as a co-founder, hopefully you have a good co-founder that can complement your skill set. That'd be very, very important. Okay. The second, from a recruiting perspective, I've actually, think about this. I mean, you're a startup. You're basically, to me, again, this is why I talk about Genghis Khan. It is like warfare. When Genghis Khan first started, he was an underdog. He was not the bully. Okay? If you're underdog trying to compete against somebody bigger, successful, got more resources than you do, the last thing you want to do is play their game. Okay? So what I'm saying, the last thing you want to recruit people is from Stanford, Berkeley, dare I say even UW, CS grad. Okay? They're going to be very costly. And then they probably could have one title as well. Okay? The reality is that most would be, hopefully you're a co-founder, a technical co-founder. I know I'm not obviously technical. You need to have these guys learn on the job. Most coding is not rocket science, dare I say that. Okay? Specific to what you guys do. A lot of that needs to be learned and taught on the job anyways. You're much better off finding somebody who's young and hungry and smart. Keep in mind those three. Okay? I'm not trying to say I want to we do have senior, more experienced developers as well. Okay? But what I'm simply saying is that it really almost doesn't really matter. We have guys who are ex-fishermen. We have guys who are geography majors, psych majors, math majors, of course, that's not unusual. Okay? But we literally have guys just off the street that they show an inclination to learn. And we taught them on the job.
So here's a great question. How do you measure that inclination to learn? Are you, during the interview, obviously you're noticing things like they're taking notes, they're asking more questions than standard candidates, right? They're maybe doing extra research on your company. What do you look for?
Okay, I'm stealing this idea from somebody else, so it's not an original thought.
Cool.
I don't know where I remember I read this context, but I applied the same thing in my interview. And I take the same philosophy. The reality is this: there's only 24 hours a day for everybody. Okay? If you're a gainfully employed, whether it's here or somewhere else, you have 8 hours on the job. That 8 hours, you're being delegated a task to do. Okay? There's not much you can do. Yes, you learn specific to asset the job or your company. And you hopefully sleep 8 hours a day. It's the other 8 hours. You're trying to find out how they spend the other 8 hours that really dictates whether they can be successful or failure. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love that quote.
There's no way in hell I can read 5-10 books a week if I'm not spending the other 8 hours doing that.
Interesting.
Got it?
Yeah, no, I love it. I mean, because you said that, actually, I remember the first time I met you, you said that. Right away, I went on YouTube. I searched the book, The Hard Things About Hard Things, to start listening to it when I'm driving now. I've always got an audio book. Gary Keller, One Thing. I'm listening to that right now. I don't know if you check that out. Good book. So okay, let's get to that other 8 hours now. So you're trying to find that out. Do you ask them, like, oh, what do you like to do for fun, stuff like that, probably?
Right. You tell me to watch TV, binge watching Netflix, or let's say video games, or hard things. Because, look, I just turned 49 the other day. I would kill to be 25 again, okay? The reality is this: when you're at that age, that young, the only asset you have is time, okay?
I feel old.
And I say this to I have a teenage son, and I say this to him. I said, look, you're a teenager, have fun. Don't worry about it, okay? Hopefully by the time you're in 20s, you go try everything. Date all kinds of girls, try all kinds of tasks, do all kinds of business. I really don't care because nobody gives a shit about you. The expectation is so low when you get 20. Nobody takes you seriously anyway. So you can afford to fail, you can afford to try. Okay, you can afford to lose it for that matter. Nobody cares. But hopefully by the time you spend the 10 years of screwing around in your 20s, by the time you hit your 30s, you figure out what you're good at.
Interesting.
So this goes back to most of the guys I'm hiring are probably in their 20s and 30s. I want to see, do they have a mindset of experimentation? Do they value experiences over prestige, being a straight and narrow? It's the talent stack I care about. I care about your experiences, what you learn from that. Okay? Is there a thought process behind it? Yes, I understand when you're young and broke, you have to do linear tasks, jobs. It's an means to an end, especially in Seattle, which is very expensive. Okay? I get all that. But don't give it the bullshit that you don't have time to apply yourself to learn something new or valuable to make yourself better. And when I push people to do that, and I quickly get a sense, either they're eager to do that or they're not. The people that are not happy when I push them, usually I get a sense that they feel like they're doing it for me. They're doing it because I'm their boss. Wrong. You're not doing it for me. You're not going to work for me forever. You're not going to work. Hopefully, you don't end up working for somebody else forever. You do it for yourself. You make yourself move out. When I hire somebody, I always tell them, look, we have all kinds of problems because most of the stuff we're doing, I have no clue. Most stuff we're dealing with, new businesses and whatnot, I have no clue. I depend entirely on you guys to go try it out. And there's no downside. And here's the thing, the more tasks you take on, the more risk you take on, hopefully you're successful with it. But even if you're not successful, you learn something from it because there's no downside. But if you happen to be successful or decent at it, your value just goes up because, voila, you're able to handle it. And if your value goes up, guess what's going to happen to my mind? I don't want to see this guy leave. I have to pay him more so he sticks around. So monetarily, you're going to get paid more. It's really that simple.
Interesting.
So when people reject the notion, oh, I'm learning something, I'm being forced to do this and that, and somehow they think it's a drag, they're just being stupid.
Interesting. So let's go into that 8 hours. How do you spend because right now, I'm at the office basically 9 to 7 every day. Go home, listen to audiobooks, sleep, repeat, right? Eat shit all day. What about you?
Yeah.
What's your 8 hours look like, right? I take it you don't watch any TV shows? You haven't?
No, I don't.
No? Okay.
No.
No Avengers? No movies? No movie theaters? No.
I mean, my only indulgence, I'm into photography. So sometimes I go on the weekends, go to Seattle or go hike somewhere, taking pictures. But you can be assured I still have my headset on.
Interesting. So you're taking pictures of competitors in your free time, huh? Going over scouting there.
I'm listening to books while I'm taking pictures.
Interesting. Cool.
Yeah. And I also, this is a habit I learned from. I used to spend all my weekends when I was out. Back then, I didn't read quite as many books, and there was no such thing as audiobook, and there was no iPods, anything like that. I used to go to the mall. This is how I learned about business. Since I was in sales, I wanted to learn from the best salespeople. I would go from store to store, pretending I'm a shopper. I would let people hit me up to pitch me, and I steal their pitches. Retail sales. But after that, I went one step further. When I was a stockbroker, I also want to find out what makes business tick. I would go to the store and I would try to take a guess how much revenue they do, what's the cost good, what's the best sellers, and so on. And I'll try to then go back, and usually these are public trading companies, and try to read the annual reports quarterly file and see if my observations are correct.
Interesting.
And quickly then you realize this is not complicated. Most of them are the same.
Interesting. So, So you basically, does your daily schedule change now, or is it just the same every day? You get up at 10, you get out of the office at 6, read the book, go to sleep, repeat. And doesn't that get boring for you, or no? Because you're always learning new things.
How can it be boring when there's changes in the business world every day, right? I mean, for example, 3 months ago, half the office wanted to trade Bitcoin. I was telling them, hell no, Bitcoin's like the .com of my day, back in the days, okay? And in my mind, that market's going to crash because Bitcoin. Because you see that much rampant speculation, market's going to crash sooner or later. And, well, we're choking right now, okay? And in my mind, Bitcoin, I told them Bitcoin's go down at least 90%. That was what, 17,000, 18,000, something like that. So it's not done going down, okay? So, I mean, the older you are, the one thing about being as old as I am, I'm not that old, okay, is that I've been through several boom bust cycles already, okay? You experience that, you've seen this already. So that actually makes it easier, more fascinating. It's like, I've seen this before. It's kind of gratifying to be able to validate some of the observations and experiences you had in the past. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I feel like I'm almost like a father figure in front of employees. I'm almost as old as some of these guys' dads and so on. But I feel like they don't get the same kind of experience and talk to you like I would. You figure out by now, I'm very blunt in your face.
I love it.
Don't be stupid.
That's awesome. Startup dad. So basically, so here's something interesting, right? So you mentioned you have a teenage son. You know, a lot of startup co-founders would kill to have you as dad because they're like, man, I have a successful CEO dad. He can steer me in, etc. Do you find that you know, like you can steer your son better in startups, etc. Or is it because that you're such a success now in business? He's like, man, I don't want to do that. That's what my dad does. I'm different. I want to be an artist. You know.
So it's funny you mentioned because my parents, my brother, they're artists and they're all broke. That's why I don't want to be an artist. Okay, and my son knows that I'm not be an artist. He can play piano, I can't. You know, he can play chess, I can't. He's way smarter than me, more talented than me. But teenagers, you know, he wants to play basketball. I'm sure he wants to go after girls and all that right now. So let it be. You know, I have zero expectations at this stage, and the way I look at it, he'll sort it out himself.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing I can be is be counsel. You know, I'm not going to tell him what to do.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to live his own life, go to his own path. My experience is entirely different than him. I can't tell him, oh, you're going to think like a broke dude. Well, he doesn't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So yeah, interesting.
That doesn't work.
So you can't really like steer him down, I guess, this path.
No.
Do you think that this entrepreneurship was that kind of a natural thing? You know, like you mentioned, you know, your parents are artists. You're like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be them, or you know.
Right. Yeah, my parents are definitely not entrepreneurial. You know, that's my brother. So I think the circumstance has a lot to do with it. Also, the people you run across, the circle of people you run into, right? I think the best education to be an entrepreneur is actually a sales job. Because he forces you to think on your feet and forces you to learn how to communicate with people. Sell. I mean, look, what's an entrepreneur? You have an idea, you have something, you want to sell to people. A salesperson may not be necessarily your idea, your own product, but you're selling something for somebody else, right? As starting out. That's a great training ground. So whenever, I try to do startup investing and whatnot. Whenever I run into a startup guy or a founder or whatnot, and they show the attitude, negative attitude towards sales, I don't want to have anything to do with them. Because I know, as far as I'm concerned, that business is doomed to fail. If a founder can't sell, you're doomed.
Interesting.
Because everything, building the company, whether it's getting customers, recruiting people, getting your ideas across, selling to investors, it's all about sales. If you can't sell, you're done.
Interesting. So, yeah, I think I definitely agree. You know, there's a lot of really talented programmers out there. They think, you know, they got that if you build it, they will come mentality, which obviously.
No, they won't come.
Yeah.
Such a shit that's out there that's great, but nobody buys.
Yeah. That's very true, especially in the B2B field, of course. So let's get into selling. You know, what would you recommend? Do you have any? What do you recommend besides going into stores and pitching to people? Are there any particular stores you're like, man, these guys, you got to get them to sell you because these guys know how to sell. Go to this car dealership, Lamborghini or something, or.
Well, those. Don't go to a car dealership like Lamborghini or a Ferrari dealership and how to sell because the damn thing sells itself. You're not going to learn much from salespeople. Okay, there. What you probably want to do is, I would say, go to Nordstrom. Okay, Nordstrom. Just off my head, from retail sales, probably one of the best sales training programs anywhere. Okay, and go find an older salesperson there. That means they've been around, and preferably ask in the business card. They say in business card says President's Club or Pacesetters Club. That's the internal code name for them being successful at sales. Okay. That means that person's good. Okay? You're not going to learn much from somebody who's just starting out. You can learn from how they handle your objections, how they handle pretend you're problematic for that matter, okay? Pretend you're difficult, okay? Try to make it as difficult as you be obnoxious as you can be, and see how they handle it. Because that's what you're going to run into. You know, you're going to run into difficult investors, you're going to run into difficult customers and so on. And you're going to most likely find a good salesperson in Nordstrom is going to be very tactful, very gracious, and demonstrate how they can handle good customer service.
So so two things right there, right off the bat. So first of all, so I've got a pain in the ass client right now, right, that I'm thinking about. You said difficult clients, right? Everybody has them, right? Do you? It sounds like you don't believe in firing clients, right? You believe in putting up. You do. Okay.
I do fire clients. Yeah.
Okay.
I do. Because, I mean, as we pivot, as we progress over the last 30 years or so, we have 5 plenty clients. I mean, at a certain point, you need to be choosy and say, hey, you cannot be all things to all people. I know Amazon's trying to be all things to all people, but we're not Amazon, okay? And you're not Amazon, most likely. So you have to stay focused, and you need to make a conscious choice how you can best serve that customer. And when I was here last talking to you guys, I talked about value extraction and value accretion, right? You're either contributing value to the customer or you're extracting value. As a startup, the best way to be successful is actually contribute value to the customer. That means do something good for them. Don't try to take money out of them for no good. Okay? So if you think along those lines, that forces you to have good customer service. Okay? Bend over backwards to the customer. But even that has certain limits. If you bend over to a point and you're very difficult customer, it'll make it impossible for you to make a profit, even thinking longer term. Then you should probably walk away from the customer, fire the customer. I've done that plenty of times. And also, put it out there before you even try to qualify customers. The whole process about qualifying customers is to know where you stand and where they stand and see if there's a right fit. If it's a wrong fit, don't bother. No priority sales guy is going to try to sell your car when you only have $10,000 budget, right?
So that's the other thing about sales. So I think you told that to me last time. Like the best sales isn't about closing; it's about qualifying, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you?
Yeah, and it's a trick. Qualifying. I mean, I learned also a lot of. 10 years ago there was a bad amount of things about how to be a pickup artist. There was underground forums about how to pick up women and all that. I actually bought some of those. I think one they were more famous for the infamous was called The Game. Okay. So I found a lot of parallels and there's another book called W. Davis. Okay. I would actually recommend you guys read those books. Okay. It sounds corny and whatnot, but here's the reality. I view high value customers no different than with the pickup artist games, high value women, beautiful women. Okay. Meaning they can be difficult, high maintenance and whatnot. And a lot of the challenges, how to handle them and all that, it's really not that different. Okay. Good customer service. I mean, no woman is going to go and say, oh, glad, okay, let's have a one night stand. Let's just have some fun. No. Women out there are going to say, are you a good guy? Can you be a good provider? And you're a decent human being. Okay. Customer, the high quality customer, the same way. Can you give good service? Can you bring value to my organization or myself, right? Will you be there when things get tough? These are the same kind of questions any self-respecting female would ask, right? So I would say, yes, there's a gamesmanship aspect to this book, and some people, to feminists, you find that actually repulsive. But I'm basically, look, from a psychological aspect, this book breaks it down. And into the sales, into the picking up girls and whatnot, it's really not that different. Okay? I know I'm probably going to hate haters from saying this, but
you're going to get hate from all 3 people that listen to this podcast.
But the thing is, I learn from everything. I can tell you, this probably is no shock to you at all. Now. I learn from these kind of things too.
What's that? So just for fun, what's the weirdest thing you kind of learned from? Was it the Genghis Khan book? Like, what's the most out there?
Weirdest thing I actually learned from watching Discovery Channel and National Geographic. I learned from animals, insects and animals. How they watch repetitive behavior, watch survival behavior and all that. To me, I learned a hell of a lot. It's the same thing. Human beings are not that different than animals. Societies and whatnot. One of the things I would tell, one of my favorite tales I tell people, and people say, what's that from the startup? It's this thing about a certain type of bed bug. Okay? This bed bug is small and weaker than this other type of bed bugs. He has a very unique mating strategy. Okay? He cannot win a female because the stature is so small. Right? So what he does is he waits the female gets aroused because it's another male bed bug, bigger stature and whatnot. Already confident. Okay? Already done ready. And then when the female is semi-paralyzed and aroused in the receptive state, you know what this bed bug does? over, and this male bedbug is the bigger ones ready to run away. He runs over and stabs the female in the belly. He injects his female in the female's bloodstream. And that's how he procreates. He inserted the DNA. Horrific. Okay? But I also learned something from that, from business. Okay? Sometimes you can try your darndest to have the customer to be receptive to your idea when you type the product, okay? But you as a startup have limited resources. Why not let some other guy get the customers all rolled up, get all ready, be receptive? But let them do all the hard work. Then you come after the fact with your superior solution, hopefully, right? Intercept the process.
Interesting. I never would have.
Also, this brings up another moral story. A lot of startups say, "Oh, I have this innovative idea of product. It's completely new. I'm the first one." I don't believe in first mover advantage. If you're the first one, you're most likely going to start because you have to spend all the time and effort and educate the marketplace to get people acclimated to what you're trying to sell and offer. Okay, you're far better off going to the existing marketplace where that type of solution product is really accepted and proven. It's going to cost you money.
Interesting.
So it's like the bed bug. Somebody else has already done the setup.
That's fair. You know, Facebook was not a new company. What's I'm gonna play devil's advocate. So Facebook was obviously it wasn't a new company. Google was not a new company. What about Microsoft though? Weren't they new in the field, or did they have competitors?
They had competitors.
Okay.
I mean, what made them success is, let's not forget, was dogs. It wasn't even written by them.
That's a fair point. That's a good point. That's a fair point. Cool. So, interesting. So we also learned you watch Discovery Channel. So maybe there is some TV time.
Well, back in the day. Back in the day. And before I did the startup thing. Okay, and that part, that got stuck in my head.
No more Discovery Channel, huh? So okay, so
I don't have cable, so I don't have any of that stuff anymore.
We'll believe you.
Okay.
Who is Jon Snow from Game of Thrones? Quickly answer.
Jon Snow?
Okay, there we go. You don't know. So good, you passed.
No, I don't know.
You passed the test. So let's get into like books and stuff, right? Let's say somebody wants to go down the Victor Huang route of entrepreneurship, and they're like, all right, I'm going to go all in. Honey, we're getting a divorce. Basically, I'm moving into a broom closet, and now I want to go in full time, right? So let's get more into the daily routine. They wake up at 9 a.m. They eat a high protein Genghis Khan meal, right? They eat a healthy meal. Then, the whole day they're working on their startup for 8 hours, let's say, right? And then the rest of the 8 hours, they're just spending the whole 8 hours just reading books and just learning. That's basically in a nutshell.
Well, I don't get up at 8. I don't get up at 9. I get up at 5.
5 a.m.
Yeah, and then I monitor overseas trading markets, currencies, commodities, and I try to put in a few trades here and then when the market opens at 6:30. Then I'm usually done by 9 o'clock. I take a shower, and then come to the office. Okay, my routine is 2 espressos. That's it, no breakfast. And I tend to the office stuff usually in the morning. By lunchtime, soylent shake or whatever the hell it is. That's my lunch. Then I'm off to browsing online, reading stuff, catching up with the market closing and so on. Okay. Usually I have contracts signed, POs approved, this and that. But usually the office, I'm done with the office by 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Interesting.
So I have an unfair advantage. That's why I have so much time. Okay. I can get back to reading.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
So at 3 o'clock, you're out of the office, and then the rest of the day, you're just reading, taking.
No, I'm not out of the office. I'm in the office. I'm just reading.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, people interrupt me whenever they want, but I'm just reading. Okay. And sometimes when I'm talking to them, I still have one earpiece in there. I'm still listening.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. So what I'm also trying to say is that don't take any of these books all that seriously. Okay? I never take notes. I never try to say, oh, did I miss the paragraph or miss this, that, I have to go back to it in case no, come on. Most of these books, especially business books, most of the core ideas can be expressed in a few paragraphs, for that matter. Okay, I'm really trying to get the books, listen to the books, to try to understand that thought process, and hopefully learn from the experiences, the storytelling aspect, not so much the core idea and concept, because that is very straightforward. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if you miss a little bit here and there, it's not a big deal. Don't be slavish about it. It's not. You're not going to be quizzed on it.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So you're not taking notes from every paragraph.
No.
There's no 5 must-read books. You know.
I would say must-read. I think everything can be a little bit overrated. There are some books I would say highly recommend. I wouldn't say must-read. I mean, because everybody's experience is different. You know, you may come across. I mean, sometimes a lot of books may not resonate with you. You know, some people I can recommend those books. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. You know, there are books people recommended to me. I read it and said, "What's the big fuss?" You know.
What are your let's get a little bit into that. What are your top 5 books, Victor?
One of the books I would highly recommend it is actually right here. It's a Berkshire Hathaway Letters to Shareholders, 1965 to 2013. This is the Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger's Letters to Shareholders. It basically talks about business in general, the specifics of the market climate, economic climate, and all that. And Warren Buffett has a very interesting way of distilling basics in business in a very easy to understand, and oftentimes no pervert sexual way, so people can quickly get it. Okay, I mean that's also sales 101. The reason I dissect the analogy and all that because it sticks in your head. You won't forget it that way. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's gonna like that, but that's okay. You know, if you're old like Warren Buffett or older like me, you can get away with that shit.
Funny.
The one benefit of getting old is that you don't care anymore.
That's funny.
Okay, so that's one book. Yeah, I would highly recommend that book. The other book is really sometimes because everyone needs to learn how to sell. Let me look up this book. The title is How I Went from Failure to Success in Insurance Sales. This was written by an ex-professional baseball player back in 1920. So it's an old book.
Do you believe, by the way, today while you're looking for that book, do you believe that it's possible for me, right? So my minimum price for, let's say, SEO campaigns is $2,000, $2,500 a month. You know, then it goes all the way up to the ceiling. We've got huge companies to work with as well, but that's my minimum. Do you think it's possible for me to just cold call all day, close clients that way on these bigger contracts, or is that a different style of selling?
That's very hard because think about it. Business is simple, right? Any higher dollar value product or service, the higher the dollar value, the longer the sales cycle.
Mm-hmm.
When you're starting at $2,000, for some big company that's nothing, that's chump change. But for most, you know, I'm assuming, and also when you sell into a bigger company, you're going to face more like levels of, barriers of entries and screeners and whatnot. It's much harder to get to a decision maker.
Mm-hmm. So
by definition, you're going to be at this stage selling to probably smaller companies. If you're selling to a smaller company, $2,000 is still a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of small businesses. They're just not going to try right there yet. Unless you have an impeccable reputation and you can demonstrate, you can add value, enhance the value instantly, and so on, right? It's going to be a tough sell. And so I would say you're probably better off trying to get your cold calling, try to at least, arrange a meeting, get to know them, qualify them better, and so on. And go from there. Okay?
Interesting.
It's like anything, you're banging your head against the wall. When I was a stockbroker, I don't think I've ever opened up $1 million account on the first 3 calls. No way. You get it? What it typically get at the time was $15,000. But let's not forget, the tactic I used at the time was selling people boring conservative stuff like CDs or municipal bonds, meaning there's virtually no risk to them. You get it? Then there's nothing for them to lose. So the higher the risk factor, the higher the dollar value, the longer the cycle, the more the barrier to entry is going to be higher to get to the customer. Mm-hmm. Okay? So you need to think along those lines. Anyways, the other book for sales is called How I let's see here. I thought I found it. So, I think I can't find it right now, but basically, you search on Amazon. I went from failure to success in selling. Something along those lines.
It was written by a baseball player.
Yep. If you Google, you can find it. Yeah.
All right.
This guy was heard he was failing out of. How I raised myself from failure to success in selling. Amazing book.
By who?
This guy was talking out. Yeah, by Frank Bettger. Bettger.
Interesting.
All the things he talked about, all the principles he talked about, which was, 70, 80 years ago probably, it actually still applies today.
Interesting. That's awesome.
People think, people talk about, because it's online, internet, and all that, things are different. No, nothing's changed. Your DNA, your psychology, your aversion to salespeople has changed.
Well, things have changed though, right? Like cold calling is harder, a lot harder now, right? And then a lot more competitive is what you said, right? Yeah. Other than that, but I think, if somebody's doing business 24/7, 9 to 7 every day, whatever, they will succeed, right? It's a matter of time. So let's get a little bit into the failure element, right? So I guess since you came from China, you don't even care about failure, right? Because you're like, I made it to America, I already win. Even if I'm homeless here, I run circles around, everybody in China, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
That's absolutely true. Why do you think so many Mexicans want to come here?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I mean, think about it. Everything's even equal. Back then, China, per capita income was like a couple $100. Here at that time was probably 20 grand already. Even if you're a loser, okay, doing the same menial task and whatnot, you're worth that much more here by default. So that's the simple concept of arbitrage on Wall Street, right?
Oh yeah.
Just put yourself full, right? So you don't have to read a book called The Blue Ocean Strategy. And the guy wrote a follow-up book. I can tell you right there. What he's talking about is arbitrage. Okay, you probably heard that book, Blue Ocean Strategy.
Yeah. Blue Ocean, Red Ocean, yeah.
Why bother competing in the sea of red ink? Okay, just remove yourself from that. Go somewhere where it's greener pastures. Okay, so this is exactly what I'm saying. The reason we do what we do today, I think, real competition. Money's money. Revenue is revenue. Does it matter? You get it from apps, some consumer internet, or enterprise software, or something else, or lawnmower. Who cares? Revenue is revenue.
Did you always know that we're in a field where we're going to make a lot of money? Like, how does a startup know that actually, right? Like, I'm in SEO. Maybe my co-founder goes to me. He's like, you know what? We should do, we shouldn't do SEO anymore. We should do content writing. How do we know content writing is the right path to go down? Is that just experience, time, market research, all the above?
Okay. Here's the thing. In your field, there's got to be big players, right? They probably make a lot more money, and for the same account, they probably generate far more revenue. For the same, more or less, basic time and effort put in, they generate far more revenue, right? Then you just need to ask them, what's separating them from you? What's them doing different? I'm not talking about being smarter, being more established, having more resources, and so on. That's not the issue, though, okay? What exactly are they doing with value to offer to the customer that's different than you, okay? So what we did when we first started out, I have no problem telling people this. We were so horrible, we had to give away our software for free, okay?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we gave it for free. We did a side gig to generate revenue to fund our software development for a couple of years.
Wow.
That's got nothing to do with, that's what we did, okay? So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you got to know how to sell. We were selling stuff in the same industry, but not exactly what we were doing, okay? That was funding our R&D because no VC would invest in us at the time, okay? And from then, you would start moving up the value chain. We went from 0 per license to 5, 10, 20, 50, 100. When we get to about 100, we hit a wall. And we realized, this is as far as it goes. So we faced a tough choice. That's around 2008, 2009. We either get out completely from the business, which we ultimately decided to do, and see what other higher part of the value chain, what exactly does that entail? And we quickly realized all these guys did packaging software with product, with a system and service. Okay, then they were able to capture 20 times more revenue. And we told ourselves, okay, what does that mean then? How can we build that? We realized quickly it wasn't that much more difficult, actually. The core is still in software. Okay? And if it really comes down to problem solving, in order to be able to offer the systems and products and services, we need to be able to scale. And that became a different issue. When you're only down to 5 people, how do you have to scale? Fortunately, in the IT industry, there were outsourced people that can utilize. The networks can utilize, third-party networks that can bolster your overall offer. And that's what we did. That help us supplement our weakness.
Temporarily,
So what initially turned out from a deficiency or weakness actually turned into strength. So now we're far more scalable than the biggest competitor we have. We can deploy our solution anywhere in the world. We can be responsive within 24 hours. None of these guys can do that. Anywhere in the world. So, and because and again, as you dive into all this stuff, initially our product and operations and on the system side was weak and problematic as well. In order to keep uptime, we had to write additional tools and software to really self-diagnose and service ourselves. And ultimately, these problems also turned out strength. All these additional tools turned into a complete suite of a separate offering that nobody else could touch.
Interesting. So
don't look at your deficiencies as a negative. If you use your deficiencies and you turn them into strength, meaning do more with less, okay? Take your weakness and turn to your strength. Then your competitors can't beat you at all because they don't even know what that weakness was because they're not in that position. They don't know even how to tackle you. This is why Microsoft, when Google came about, didn't know how to compete against Google. How do you compete against a company that simply has no product, no price tag on the product? It's just search. Do you get that? How do you compete against that? So it's very, very vexing for them, right? When your company's built on this shrink-wrap product, software in a box, and go through some standard distribution channels, OEM channels, and whatnot, Google doesn't do any of that stuff. How do you compete against that?
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you look at histories and company success and failures, it's usually just by another book since you asked me books, Innovator's Dilemma. Clayton Christensen's book. It's been around 20-some years now, I think. I would highly recommend you read it because he talks about this very, very problem. I mean, how do you start from a startup with less resources, less of everything? How do you beat a Goliath? You need to turn that weakness into strength. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're smaller, you're more nimble, right? You can do things a lot faster.
Right.
You're more flexible.
Right.
Cool. So, man, there's so many questions. So basically, all the stuff that you've learned today, right, in the past 13 years, we could say, did you ever have like a mentor or like a group of guys? You said you are your 5 closest friends. Did you have like a group of 5 you always went to? You guys meet at poker club every Sunday? Or I'm guessing you don't play poker.
I probably got that idea from thinking, well, Richard. No, I don't. I read that book many, many times. Never really sunk in. So I know. He's talking about this,
masterminds.
Mentors or masterminds and all that. I know people talk about on YouTube and all that. Because the reality is, the people you try to talk to, they don't know your industry, your specific aim. They ask me to help you, I really can't help you.
Yep.
I don't know your business, right? You run circles around anybody, knowing about your business, I really don't have much value. And I don't want to be a poser. And I certainly don't appreciate somebody being a poser and pretend they know about my business and tell me this and that. Okay? So I think the best way, honestly, if you run into difficulties and challenges, I mean, here's a shocker to you. Okay? Don't ask for mentor. Don't ask people, your peers and whatnot. Talk to your customer about it.
Interesting.
Tell them your difficulties.
Straight up, just be like, hey, look, you're
straight up and say, hey, if a typical customer says, look, I really want to help you. I really want to be the service better, but this is what I'm running up against, right? They will either back off or they will help you.
Interesting.
Okay? So, I mean, here's the thing. I learned that from Li Kai-shing, the richest man in Hong Kong.
Your mentor. We found him. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
Well, yeah, he just retired last week. He's 89 now. Okay? I don't know. I read from his book. He's 5 and so to speak. He said when he was building this, his first business was making plastic flowers. Okay? And he was too small. He didn't have enough capital to put enough machinery order, nobody pays you up front, right? He would have to go borrow money, and no bank would lend him the amount of money to go buy the machine to fulfill the order. So he flat out told his customer to deliver. And you know what the customer did? Turn around, prepaid, and half the order.
Wow.
Because they appreciate his honesty. He was turning the customer away, saying, "You should go to this XYZ competitor of mine. They're much bigger than us. They can do just as good job." But the guy said, "No, because you're honesty, I'd rather do business with you."
Interesting. So basically, customers can see through your bullshit, right? What's funny is a lot of.
This is why I always say, customers' money is king. I'd rather take customers' money over VC's money, investors' money, or your friends or relatives' money any day. Customers' money solves all problems.
So if a customer of mine tomorrow says, "Hey, Vlad, I want to pay you for website design. Can you do that?" Yeah. Do you say yes every single time to every single thing they want you to solve?
No. Stick with what you know. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you do website design, you're good at it or not. I'm assuming that's not what you do. Okay.
SEO. Yeah.
You do SEO. You do CI. You don't. That's not what you do. You change somebody hopefully that's good at it, and they would appreciate that. Why take on this revenue? You think it's an opportunity for revenue, but no, not all revenues are going to help you. Some are going to kill you, because in order for you to do that, you have to take on costs. Got it?
So when do you know how to diversify, your services, your product offerings, or do you always just have one thing?
I try not to diversify. Actually, I'm still small. Okay. When you're that small, why bother diversifying? Be the best you can be, like the Army slogan, right? So, if you are known as the best at what you do, you will have a reputation. Okay. Am I saturating the whole marketplace? Am I conquering the world? No, not even. I didn't scratch the surface yet. Okay. So why worry about diversifying? Mm-hmm. Diversifying is distraction, noise, additional costs. And if you hit a saturation point like Microsoft or Google, yes, do diversify, right? You have so much cash in it. The clear sign that you need to diversify is that you have so much cash in the bank that you don't know what the hell to do with it.
Interesting.
I don't think you're in that situation, and I'm not in that situation either. So
interesting. So you always always the question is, how can you be the best at what you do at your niche? What about the pivot? Did you guys ever pivot? That's a big question.
Pivot is kind of business model, right? Mm-hmm. That's what we do. Yeah.
But not in terms of value you want to push to the market, right? Just the model or the team. Or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, you know who you are. You're not going to be this is why I laugh. What's that guy? Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street guy, right? He's trying to pretend he's all reformed and all that, telling people, "Oh, come on, you're a crook. You're a crook." Okay. He's still out hustling and scamming people today.
Yep.
Okay? If he thinks he's pivoting, he's not pivoting. Mm-hmm. He's just doing it in a different country, that's all.
Interesting. Cool. Well, Victor, you've been on for quite a bit. Let me ask you the last questions, and I'm going to let you go and respect your time. Thank you so much. So what's the biggest misconception you had about startups when you first jumped in the game, right? And now you're like, man, I can't believe I thought that. This is the way it really is.
Oh, I thought, like I said, we thought we were going to be able to build and flip it, right? I thought we can raise the conventional route, raise VC money, and spend a few years, build a successful product, and sell the company for $1 million. Mm-hmm. Okay? We knew that, and we also thought going public or sell yourself was the exit, because all your investors, all your friends, or since the .com days, some of the company went public, that's a surefire way to get rich. Okay? The reality is that I learned that from Warren Buffett as well. Mm-hmm. Warren Buffett, you know what he said? His biggest mistake in his life? He's making his partnership into a public traded company.
Really?
Meaning he's parting his money with all these other people. If you have a successful, profitable business, why the hell do you need to exit? Mm-hmm. Do you have a better idea? Most likely, this is why people ask Zuckerberg, "Hey, why did you sell it at $1 billion, at $4 billion, or whatever, or $10 billion, or $20 billion?" Right? He says, "I don't have a better idea." Mm-hmm. Okay. The reality is that if you spend so much hard time and effort, you being the best you can be at what you do, and let's assume you're good at what you do. It's very, very difficult to reinvent yourself and be good at something else, right? And also, hopefully, you really, really build a successful business, okay? And the snowball effect, the compound, again, go back to Warren Buffett, down the road, it's going to be so much easier. I mean, look, my monthly revenue today is bigger than my annual revenue a couple of years ago. How would you like that to be in that position? Do you get it? And hopefully, a few years from now, I can say the same thing. My monthly revenue a few years from now is bigger than my annual revenue today. You get it? So the misconception about going public, exiting, well, this is also why I'm fortunate not to have investors. I don't have the pressure to exit or sell. You get it? So partnering with investors, so to speak, in my mind, is like doing a deal with the devil.
That's why I love. That's why I love to have you on the panel. You're the on man out, which I really liked. Would you say are the 3 tips you could give to co-founders, or maybe 1 tip to connect better to their partners, prospects, or the public? Would it mainly be just learn how to sell because it's all about connecting the right way?
Yeah, learn how to sell. This is also why I say it's easy to learn a lot. Nobody wants to talk to someone who's boring and stupid. Okay? If you read or learn and know a lot more than you currently do, and trust me, the more you read, the more you learn, the more you realize how stupid you are. You're going to make yourself that much more interesting. And that makes your selling that much easier. Because nobody wants to buy from an idiot. Everybody wants to buy somebody who's authoritative, right? Who has broad know-how. So nobody's going to say, go home and say, yeah, I bought something on the dumbest guy possible. Everybody will want to have confirmation bias. Yes, I bought from the smart guy. He told me everything about this stuff, and it's actually the right decision.
Interesting.
Right? Do you think the customer want to go away and say, oh, no, I really bought from this loser. He doesn't know what he's doing. And I hope this shit I bought works.
Interesting. Well, what about the honesty part, though, right? Doesn't that contradict the honesty, right? Yeah, honesty, when you're small, this is the other thing. I also learned from doing startup and you talk about misconceptions and whatnot. I find it absolutely laughable. A lot of times I go to start a website, they always kind of check something, make the website look like this big conglomerate, big buildings, skyscrapers, glamorous offices and whatnot. No, come on, your customers know you're small. Don't bullshit, okay? Play to your side. Don't try to pretend you're what you're not, okay? When you have, America is a great country because people want to give the underdog a chance. It's in nature, in the business world, and with consumers in this country. They actually, why else you get Kickstarters and those things exist, okay? People actually want to give underdogs a chance. So don't bullshit. Don't pretend what you're not. Be clear about what you want. Be clear about what you're able to deliver. And be honest about it. That's it. It's like the George Costanza routine, at Seinfeld. You walk up to this woman and says, I'm going to do exactly right. He said, my name is George. I'm an unemployed, living with my parents in the basement, and I'm bald. And the blonde chick was actually taken by it. There's a nice TV reference right there. So, boom.
Okay.
You got quite a few. So Seinfeld is the key, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Why Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, the next question is, what's the easiest thing people can take advantage of in business that they don't to succeed? And I think your answer is going to be read, right? Like take advantage of free knowledge out there in the time, right? 8 hours.
Right.
Cool. That you've done a fantastic job in the interview, Victor. Always a pleasure chatting with you. Anything we can do out there for you at all? Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's good to be here, and it's a little way of paying back. Hopefully, I think my personal opinion is there's a lot of bullshit out there. Okay, I'm just trying to cut away the crap.
Well, here's actually a great question. There's a lot of bullshit out there. That's true, right? Yeah. And as young co-founders out there, impressionable co-founders, I'm going to have the Female Founders Alliance as well, right, on May 30th. And how do you're a young co-founder, you're getting out there. How do you separate how do people look at you? They're like, wow, does he really have a $40 million company, or is he BSing? Like, how do people vet? What's your strategy for vetting?
Oh, that's easy. You search me under places like GovTribe, punch in my company name, and look at the government contract. They tell you public contracts are. So I'm not bullshit. Okay, these are public information.
What about like in general? I'm saying like.
I run into people that always pretend they're successful, they're angel investors and whatnot. I think if you don't know much about business, it's very hard to cut through the bullshit, right? I think what you need to do is just ask them. Even VCs the same way. I pissed off VCs when I was fundraising. This company called OVP, they're out of business now. I demanded to see the return, the performance record. I said, if you're not any good, why should I do business with you? You would add no value to me. They were completely taken aback by that. Okay, and they refused. Of course, they didn't want to say, show me that stuff. But ask the hard questions because, like I said, you're doing a deal with the devil. Okay, you might as well put it on the table and be open about it. You want a pound of flesh, equity in this case, right? Then show me your performance. Show me your track record. Can I have referrals and references I can call? How was the experience like? You said you pretend you funded this startup, that startup. Maybe you're an asshole. Maybe you were just terrible. Okay? I cannot talk to these people.
Cool. So I'm sure.
Go
ahead.
Don't be afraid, right? It's a small community for that matter. And you find that you find a lot of hustlers. They're not happy. They're out there, oh, I'm an accountant, I'm a lawyer. All they want is to get a fee out of it. Right? Service providers. You go to these startup events, they're full of service providers. Know who they are. Okay? And you can multiple of them, these team them against each other, see who can provide service for cheap.
Cool.
Got it?
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be looking at GovTribe after this, looking up your info, Victor. What was I going to say? Thank you so much again. Really appreciate it. If we can ever help, let us know. Thank you.
Okay.
And time for me to stop the recording cycle. Okay.